Welcome to Sat Chats, the Bitcoin podcast where we chat about sats. Sats are the smallest part of a Bitcoin, the same way pennies are the smallest part of a dollar. With Sat Chats, we're building the world's biggest Bitcoin welcome center to serve as your gateway to generational wealth. I'm Stuart, your host, Bitcoin Maxi, who wears prescription sunglasses to protect you and your loved ones from my Bitcoin laser eyes.
And I am Chris, your co-host, founder and CEO of Ithaca Hummus, Bitcoin smash buyer and proud multi-coiner.
So smash that like and subscribe on YouTube the same way Chris smash buys Bitcoin.
Let's go.
Zap us those 5 estrellas on Spotify. Hit us with those 5 stars and help us spread these chats all around the world. So today we are here with Dima, and we will be talking about Bitcoin with Dima and answering her questions. But before we do, we want all our satillionaires out there to know, who is Dima?
So basically, I'm a mom for 2 boys, and currently I work like part-time side hustle job through my social media platforms on Instagram, Facebook, some TikTok, and stuff like that. Of course, I do have my other like full-time paying job, and originally I used to work in the hospitals where I have my master's degree in health services administration, but then after having 2 kids, I switched to the more flexible type of jobs.
So Dima, mother of 2, full-time job plus side hustle.
Love that.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Where can our satillionaires go to engage with you on your platforms?
So I'm mainly active on my Instagram account. It's like my name, Dima, D-I-M-A, and my last name, Kontar, Kontar. It's linked to my Facebook page, which is D Kontar, and on TikTok, it's going to be the same, Dima Kontar, making it easy across all platforms.
So, and we'll put some links. We'll have a link to Dima's Instagram in our show notes. So talk to us about how much you know. How much do you know about Bitcoin?
Nothing. That's easy. Nothing.
Nothing.
Rigorously honest. We
I love that
around here. Yeah.
And real quick, what kind of stuff do you focus on your social media platform? What kind of content do you create for everyone out there?
So originally, when I started my social media, I had another side hustle job with my hospital job, which is modeling. I used to do modeling through Instagram. So everything was based on beauty, makeup, fashion. And then when I transitioned it over the years, it became like lifestyle influencing and digital creation. So I still focus on the main things like skincare, beauty, fashion, like in-town events, restaurants in around the Triangle area, any other like apps or like Amazon products, because I also have my Amazon page, my influencer page on Amazon. Everything that you think around personal beauty for any woman, fitness, local shops around, or anything concerning like your kids, your home. Yeah.
Okay. So beauty and lifestyle influencer is what I'm hearing.
Basically, and yeah, other things related to kids and family might be, you might see there. Any home improvement stuff. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. And you literally, have you ever heard of Bitcoin anywhere?
I heard of Bitcoin. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I heard. I never dealt with it. I never attempted to learn more about it or to dig into it. No.
Yeah. Okay. And where did you hear about Bitcoin? Was it in the news? Was it on social media? Was it through a friend?
I hear some people talking about it, and one time we were working an event, and like the people working with me were talking about buying those Bitcoins, especially during the pandemic period, stuff like that. Always when you scroll throughout social media, you can see like pop-ups about Bitcoin or on Facebook or anywhere. But again, like I've never tried like to go into it or deal with it or stuff like that.
What does it make you feel when you see that in your feed? Do you feel like, okay, this is just some random nonsense, or,
Yeah.
what kind of impression do you get when you're scrolling past this stuff?
I'm always not motivated to like deal with things that I'm not fully aware of or how it functions. And especially if it comes to something, I guess it's like kind of a digital currency or something like that. I'm not sure again because I've never been introduced, but I'm not into those because always I'm afraid of things that are not stable, like the waves up and down. Or you might, for example, put money into something and then something happens and then you lose it. It's those risky type of stuff. I'm not a big fan of. Maybe this is why I like prevent myself into dwelling into these issues. I'm kind of person like I love to take the steady roads in life. Maybe after several years of experience, but I've never attempted or tried, as I said, to know what is it exactly about. Maybe it didn't interest me enough. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'm just like you. I can identify with that. I prefer steady. I prefer consistent. I prefer routine. I would rather grow slowly over time and, move inexorably forward with no setbacks than kind of like spike upward and drop back down and spike up. So do what's your relationship with money, Dima? Do you earn it and save it? Do you earn it and spend it, way past what you should? Do you invest in stuff that you feel is not so risky, or how do you manage that?
Oh, no, I think with today's economy, saving is not that big goal. So I think it is 99% of the people, or mostly 90% of the normal living, like people. I think saving is becoming super hard. Most of the people are working just to pay their mortgage and bills and, travels, activities, extracurricular activities, after school care, food, gas, maintenance. Spending is not, is basically what everyone is doing. Saving, maybe it will happen later, but not at the moment.
Okay, so that's a good thing to point out, Dima, where most of us are earning money just to pay everyone else so that we can continue to be alive and in a home that, or apartment or condo that is like heated and has food in it, right? I mean, the idea of savings is like, I guess it used to be that earning and saving was kind of like tier one, but these
Yeah.
days with the economy, it's just earning and staying alive is the new tier one.
Mm-hmm.
Earning and saving is maybe tier two. And then earning and doing something with your
And
savings to get
investing,
even more money might be your tier three.
earning and investing might be tier four. Unless like we all have noticed like the inflation in the last few years, like this is something evident for everyone, and you can compare and contrast yourself 40 years ago or 5 years ago how things used to be versus today. So maybe we were able to save like some money before, but nowadays it's becoming super hard. Everything is getting more and more expensive. So yeah.
So let's talk about that for a second. Where have you noticed inflation in your life over the past 4 years? What makes you go, oh my gosh, I can remember when this was just,
$2 and now
what's
it's
that like
four.
for you?
Everything. Do you go to the grocery store, for example? You can see the same items I used to buy like 4 years ago. Let's say it is a dough roll used to be for $2. Now it's four. Exactly the double, but you still buy it. Look at the gas
Mm-hmm.
prices. That 199 mark, I didn't see it since long time ago. Now it's a 397, 398. If you have to put like not regular gas for your car, okay, you have to pay more depending on what engine your car like functions. Now people are thinking into doing those Tesla electric cars, which are extremely expensive also. Like even if you try to save the gas, like charging this car drives you a certain miles. and then you have to stop and charge. So everything has pros and cons. Everything, like even if you want to put your kid in a soccer activity, they used to charge you, for example, 200. Now it's a 350 because it costs more for bringing that trainer in, and he has to pay also for his mileage. He has to use his car, everything. Camps, summer camps, even if you pay your bills, you will notice like the gas bill increase, the usage, not only like the payment per watt, but everything. Just look at it and you will see everything is being affected. It's all like a series, you know, it's
Yeah.
not an increase in one thing. No,
It's all of it. And it's all doubled, hasn't it, in the past 4 years?
I believe so. I believe so. It's never like before. You used to go for, I can see friends of mine, like before they might have renting, let's say a 1 bedroom apartment. It might be like for $700 back in the days. Now there's nothing renting for $700. Oh no, it's impossible. Nothing for that. And like if you want to pay the deposit nowadays, it's more. Everything is more. Even if you have a pet and you want to like take care of your pet, it costs more. It's coming. Even though you might think, okay, why my haircut? It used to be $15, now it's 25. The cost of the scissors increased. I don't know, but it's all coming in waves.
It totally is. And I'm right there with you, Dima, because we used to buy Nutro for our dog. And it used to be maybe $45 for a bag. And then it's getting up to $75 or $80 a bag. And I went to Costco and saw that they had some lamb and rice dog food that was 3 times as much dog food for half the price. And I was like, you know what, Panda? You about to be having some Costco dog food, okay? Love
Why
ya,
not?
okay?
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. We all switch
Wish
to
you a long
generic
life,
brands if it saves us more money. We are all doing the same.
Does the budgetary strain on all of us here in America, where we're just trying to buy the basics, food, shelter, clothing, does that have an impact on your work? Because, for example, they like, well, you know what? I don't really have anything left over to buy these skincare products. I can't go through your Amazon affiliate, get your code, etc. You know, are you seeing like a drop in engagement because people just maybe they view your skincare and beauty and health stuff as, gee whiz, I wish I could do that, but I just don't have the money this month?
I think this is the case, not for every American, it's worldwide. Like skincare or anything like those are not basics. People are always trying to do their basic stuff before, and then they might spend on these things, but after they meet their basic needs. And there is no doubt that the increase in prices with everything would not keep buying certain stuff a priority. No, it will be like I'm gifting someone. If it's the Christmas season, for example, everyone needs to buy gifts. You will see like, yeah, lots of people are heading, and you can know that from, for example, of course, I take commission through my Instagram, my Amazon affiliate. You can see that the decrease or increase in commission depending on the seasons, right? Because at certain seasons like Christmas, everyone tends to spend more. They might not have enough finances for that, but it's okay. They put it on their credit card and then they start paying it off later on. But yeah, you can see that they tend to buy more. There's no doubt that economy is putting people on a stretch that I'm gonna meet my basic needs first, and then I'm gonna look into these luxury stuff. Or instead of having a full skincare set, I'll just have that one cream. You can see lots of people sometimes saying like, I wish I have the finances currently to buy those, even though I need them, but I'm gonna hold off for the moment. It happens, yes.
So that's fascinating, by the way, because even though you don't know a lot about Bitcoin and you focus on what you focus on, you are quite smart about the economy and what's going on and the impact it's having on people, even if you aren't sharing that, out loud with your audience, right? You try to avoid that.
Yeah.
And it's really fascinating to see how the economy affects all of us. And we're all just like, what? We're all kind of looking around like, man, what's going on? Why is everything so much more expensive? So let me ask you, Dima, what do you think is the reason behind everything getting more expensive? And in the past 4 years, twice as expensive.
Well, it all started happening with the pandemic. Again, I'm not an economy analyst or something, but we started seeing it with the pandemic. I don't know exactly because certain businesses started holding off or it was like expensive to get stuff, but it's not only in the States. Everything worldwide started like increasing in prices. And I think economy is not a matter that is consistent with one country. Like what happens in other countries affects us and vice versa. So, but the real reason, I don't know. You want to tell me? Do you know?
Well, I believe that I do know.
Go ahead.
And I like that you're pointing out that one country's economy is not in a vacuum. It's not insulated or protected, whether we're talking about some new tariffs or some whatever. All countries worldwide are interrelated. And we have this big global phenomenon called everybody is earning and spending in order to live. But we've attempted to chop that up into 219 separate places called countries, or as I like to call them, nation states. So it's a very tricky thing to talk about the economy and to understand its impact, truly. But before I learned about Bitcoin, Dima, I just listened to what I was told from trusted sources. And when I was growing up, they said, well, things are getting more expensive because of the dot-com bubble, and Y2K, and there's a bunch of computer stuff, and there's some stock market crashes. And then later on, they say, well, everything is getting more expensive because of the financial crisis in 2008. We're upside down with these subprime mortgages, and we got to bail out some big old companies. And, then later they say, well, everything's getting more expensive because of the pandemic and these supply chains. Oh, my goodness. We're just, and the government says, look, guys, all these things are happening. And man, it's just a real shame. But we're in here, we're fighting for you guys. Okay, we're going to help.
How?
It wasn't, how are they going to help? Yeah, exactly, Dima. How's the government going to help? We're going to try to pass measures. We're going to, we're going to limit people from, price gouging you guys. Corporate greed and, people aren't getting taxed enough, etc. But when I started looking into it, Dima, I realized that since the pandemic, like, let's just zero down into America because that's where I am and that's what I'm able to experience. But let's just focus on America from 2020 to 2024. You said it yourself. You go to the grocery store, everything costs twice as much. And you go to the gas pump, it costs twice as much. Well, what I learned was that during that time period, Dima, the United States printed twice as much money as there was.
Wow.
Right? So do you remember the stimulus checks?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And everybody got stimulated. It was stimulating. We just had money show up in our accounts, didn't we?
Yeah.
I mean, where'd that money come from?
Again, I told you
They just
I'm
printed
not
it.
so great in that.
And most people don't focus on this, and I didn't focus on this. But when I looked into it, I saw that they had printed twice as much money. So before the pandemic, there were $10 trillion flying around out there, 10 trillion US dollars. And, it's supposed to be like money that we've earned by being productive. You work so hard, Dima. You're raising a family. You've got your day job. You've got your side hustle. You're creating new value for America, and you're being productive. And that the money that we have is supposed to reflect your productivity. But America just printed more money during that time. So there were 10 trillion. They printed 10 trillion more dollars just because. And what that means is they diluted the money that was already there to the tune of by two, right? They 2x'd it. And all of a sudden, everything starts costing twice as much. So think about it like this. Let's imagine you have a beauty serum. And when you come in here with the stopper and you get a couple of drops here and you're applying it in the correct spots to try to reduce wrinkles or firm up your skin, what happens if I come to your beauty serum and it's 1 ounce beauty serum and I roll up with a neutral solution that has no properties in it whatsoever, and I mix the two into a bigger bottle so that it's 1 ounce of beauty serum, 1 ounce of neutral solution, and I mix that up, and then I refill your beauty serum 1 ounce with that solution. How much beauty serum is really in that 1 ounce bottle now?
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah. Then I
Right?
want to ask, in
Only
this
half.
case, what is the relation of Bitcoin to the economy and everything else?
Okay. Oh my gosh. Amazing. So, Bitcoin is a beauty serum that you cannot dilute with some type of neutral solution. Okay. So the strength of Bitcoin, when you apply it to your face, is always going to be the exact same. Bitcoin is basically money that is for the digital age, right? I mean, you work your daytime job, but if you were able to earn enough through your digital pursuits, through your beauty and lifestyle brand, would you continue to work your day job?
No, of
No.
course not. But yeah,
I got
whenever
you.
you have something that you think it is really productive for you to work it from anywhere in the world and still run your life, you go for it. So I don't know if Bitcoin is something that you're talking that it doesn't fluctuate its value. It still keeps its value, although that I thought digital currencies that are not like that in my head. I thought it's not something that stays stable.
Well, we have a little bit of a public perception crisis going on right now in the, I hate to even call it the crypto community, because we don't lump Bitcoin in with general cryptocurrencies. So you would be right in feeling that there are many what people call cryptocurrencies that aren't actually currencies, that
Yeah.
fluctuate wildly, that come onto the scene and they get really popular and then all of a sudden they go down to zero. We ask our guests and our community to separate those cryptocurrencies from Bitcoin. Bitcoin solves the problem that we're talking about, because there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. There is a fixed supply. No one can print more and more and more and more of it like we do dollars or other currencies from other nations. So there's a fixed supply, which means that you can store the money that you earn in Bitcoin, and you can rely on the value of that Bitcoin that you converted into to go up over time and not down.
And how it
That's a good
happens,
point he makes, right?
yeah, for me, I want to learn more about what you're saying. So usually people do a Bitcoin account and then they have to put monthly money in there. For example, each dollar is 1 Bitcoin. How do they use it? How do they pay with it? How they save it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you wanted to start buying Bitcoin right now, you
Mm-hmm.
would download a digital wallet. You can go online. The wallet that I use is called Sparrow Wallet. Okay.
Or for your phone, Blue Wallet. You download it just like a banking app to your smartphone, Blue Wallet, and there's some others.
And we have an episode in our Short Stacks playlist on our YouTube channel that goes through kind of how to buy Bitcoin and the wallets that we recommend for people. But so you would download a wallet, then you would find an exchange. We recommend Bitcoin Well, and you would go onto Bitcoin Well and you say, I want to buy $5 worth of Bitcoin. They process the transaction just like, you're buying anything on the internet, really. And then you give them the address of your digital wallet, of your Sparrow wallet, of your Blue wallet. They send the Bitcoin to you. Yeah. Then it's in your wallet, okay? And what you bought for $5 today will fluctuate in value over time. But generally, I mean, throughout Bitcoin's history, it has done nothing but go up, every year. It's higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. So it's an incredible store of value. For now, that's how most people use it. That's how most people use Bitcoin. Can you buy things with Bitcoin today? Yes, you can. If you buy Bitcoin today and you realize in 6 months, I need to liquidate some of that Bitcoin, you go right back to the same exchange that you bought it from and you sell it back to them and they send you the cash for it. Does that make sense?
Oh, wow. But of course, you cannot sell it with the same price, right? You might lose sometimes.
Yeah. And so if your time horizon for the investment that you're making into Bitcoin is only 6 months or a year, you're definitely putting yourself in a riskier position. I'm not going to say that it goes down in 6 months for sure, or in 1 year it's definitely going to be lower. We don't know. We know historically what it's done, which is every year on average it's gone up by 200%. So that's pretty good. It's actually the highest performing asset class of all time.
Yeah.
So it has been historically an incredibly good investment. But we don't have a crystal ball. We'd be lying if we told you that we did.
Yeah.
But we do, we do ask people who are getting into this to just take a look at their time horizon. If they foresee needing to liquidate the Bitcoin investment that they're making today in 6 months or a year, you might want to back that down a little bit so that it's something that you can manage without for a 12 or 18 or 24 month period.
So think about it like this, Dima. You operate digitally because that fits your lifestyle, that fits your schedule. Bitcoin is digital money. It is an online money. And it's such a good money that people feel like it's an asset, right? They don't have any way to think about Bitcoin as money. So they're like, man, this thing is always going up. It must be an asset. And it is, but it's also money. If you put $100 into your savings account, at the beginning of last year, then by the end of last year, that $100 would pretty much buy you $50 worth of stuff, right? Because everything's twice as expensive. That's what it feels like. What we've learned today is that it's because they printed twice as much money. But if you put $100 into Bitcoin at the beginning of last year, well, Bitcoin went up 132%, Dima. So at the end of last year, you wouldn't be able to buy $50 worth of stuff with your $100. You would be able to buy $232 worth of stuff.
Wow.
So what we feel like Bitcoin represents, it is a decentralized form of money, and it's not operated by the United States. It's not operated by the European Union. It's not operated by China. It's operated by the people who use it. So people can't come in and dilute Bitcoin's beauty serum with a neutral solution. There's 21 million Bitcoin. That's it. Now, inside each Bitcoin are a whole bunch of sats. That's why this show's called Sat Chats, because we're just talking about sats. You know what I mean? We just want people to stack their first sats. We want people to buy $5 worth of Bitcoin, $15 worth of Bitcoin, $50 worth of Bitcoin, because if you have a little bit of money left over each month, $10, $20, $50, and you set it aside into Bitcoin, it will have a dramatic impact on your finances over time.
Okay, so it's like a form where people can save their money, right? And like they are gaining interest on their money without having when it comes to taxes, let's mention that. So when people have money in their Bitcoin, like saving them, do they still have to pay taxes on those, or how it has been dealt with? Now, this question came up to my mind.
So, yeah. So just like any other investment, if you buy something for $100 and it increases in value to $200, you have a $100 gain. And so the tax exposure to that $100 gain would be considered capital gains tax. And the rate of capital gains tax you pay depends on how long you've held that asset. So you may pay short-term capital gains, which is higher, or long-term capital gains, which is lower. But in both cases, you're paying less than ordinary income tax, like if you were to go work and you have taxes taken out of your wages.
Okay.
So that's how it's taxed.
Right. So when you decide to sell the Bitcoin, because you need some money, that's when you would pay some capital gains or capital losses taxes.
Okay. Gotcha.
What was your question, Dima?
I wanted to ask usually which platforms accept paying with Bitcoin. For example, does Amazon accept it? For people who are trying, for example, to use it for their daily lives or daily purchases.
So Venmo is now starting to transact in Bitcoin. So if you set up Venmo as your third-party payment processor, on Amazon, I think theoretically.
That's wild. I didn't know that. I don't think Amazon itself accepts Bitcoin. And Walmart doesn't accept Bitcoin. Target doesn't accept Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But to Chris's point, some of these big names like Venmo and maybe even PayPal are now looking to transact with Bitcoin because it has such a great use case for international payments. Because since it's online, you can just send that Bitcoin right to that person wherever they are. And you don't have to deal with different nations and different banks and remittance fees and all this stuff.
Right. Well, you pay transaction fees on Venmo. Okay. You pay transaction fees on some of these other third parties. So I believe it's less than a credit card processing fee. So there's that. But the thing is, Dima, this is going to happen like anything, right? It happens slowly, then it happens quickly. We believe that we are on the brink of it happening quickly. Like Venmo started transacting in Bitcoin. If Zelle's not doing it yet, they're next. If Cash App's not doing it yet, they're next. If, you name it, you go down the list. The minute there is a use case happening, there's a company that's making it possible for people to transact in Bitcoin, the rest will follow.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen to the price of Bitcoin once that happens? It's going to go up a ton.
Increase in value. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's where we feel we are. And that's why we feel there's nothing better that you could do with any extra money you have than buy Bitcoin and just let it sit there. Let it sit there.
Because
Yeah.
if you're like me, you don't have enough cash to go like buy a house and like rent it to someone to try to create a stream of revenue. Like, I don't have enough cash to go like buy a $9 million piece of artwork that's going to hold its value. And I don't really. I mean, I'm a dad. I've got 2 kids, and I don't have enough time, and I'm not interested in stocks or bonds or the stock market or which company is going to be the next big thing or what was their earning. Like, I'm not into that. I just want to take my little $15 that I happen to have and go put it somewhere where it's going to be safe until I need it again. Yeah. And I know for a fact it's not safe if it's sitting in my savings account as a dollar bill, that they are continually diluting that dollar bill by printing more of them, even though we're not backing that with us doing any hard work right now. So, what we feel is that Bitcoin can serve as a way for you to protect yourself against inflation and maybe get a financial grip so that you can get off tier 0, which is just earn and pay to stay alive, to tier 1, which is earn and save. So, and I'll tell you this real quickly, Dima, they did a little study over a 5-year period where they said, let's see what happens when you put $50 into a savings account each month for 5 years. That's $3,000 that you save over 5 years, and you end up with about $3,000. Your savings account pays you, 1% in. It's not a lot,
Yeah.
They bought $50 worth of gold for 5 years. That's $3,000 into gold. And at the end of that time period, you had about $6,000 worth of gold because gold doubled in value over that time period. Pretty sweet. I love doubling my money, especially in an inflationary world where I know I'm going to need twice as much 5 years from now to buy the same thing. Well, guess what, Dima? They put $50 into Bitcoin each month over 5 years, $3,000 into Bitcoin, and they ended up with $250,000.
Oh, really? Wow.
What? Huh?
Yeah. So that's what we're here for, Dima. We just want to get this message out so that people can. We're not here to sell anything. We just want to inspire people to take the next step. We recommend a book called The Bitcoin Standard if you enjoy reading, just to get yourself the basics, maybe answer some questions that we didn't have an opportunity to answer today. Yeah. Obviously, tune into Sat Chat, subscribe to our channel, comment when you have questions. We're always in the comments. We're always doing our best to answer and help people start their Bitcoin journey.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and to Chris's point, I think if you're interested in learning more about Bitcoin, you should hit our Short Stacks series, which are 10 to 11 minutes long, and each episode hits a little quick topic. You can hit that from your home on the way to pick up your kids at school. And, as you get more interested, you can jump into our long form chats where we talk about Bitcoin with people. And because there's a lot there, right? I mean, there's so much to it. But the key takeaway for me, Dima, and the reason why I started learning about Bitcoin last year and then eventually lit myself on fire for Bitcoin is because I saw that it could help me finally get out of this quicksand where we live our lives, because I just could not get ahead. And Bitcoin can do the same for you and for everyone out there who is, living in this economy. So let me ask.
It's the ultimate equalizer. We've been living in a world where wealth has been constantly redistributed up and up and up and up. And that's why we're so inspired and love Bitcoin so much, because it's the ultimate leveling of the playing fields.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Dima. How much do you think you would have lying around each month to put into Bitcoin? Do you think that you could end up with $10 that you could slide into Bitcoin, 20, 30?
Yeah, I think it's something doable because again, you bring up this concept that it doesn't have to be any massive amounts of money. I think they're making it easier in a way that even people with the lowest paying wages, perhaps they can find like $5 to put it there. And if it's gonna double or triple or quadruple or whatsoever, it's gonna be, of course, a great advantage for everyone. And perhaps
Yeah.
people like learn this fact and, as you said, go and learn more about it, read about it, listen more about it, they will definitely jump into it. Because I think this is something that everyone is looking into, right? To have some form of saving without having like to have any trouble with daily interference stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I love that. This has been a great conversation because I feel like we've gone from square one to
From zero.
enough
Yeah.
awareness of Bitcoin, right? For maybe
Yeah.
you to be a little bit interested in it, right? Here at Sat
Yeah.
Chats, all we're trying to do is chat about sats. And all we want to do is get someone to a place where they can think seriously about stacking their very first sats. So let's recap the conversation real quick. We've had Dima today on the show here in Raleigh with us, and we hope you'll come back. We ask all of our guests to come back in 9 months and give us an update on their Bitcoin baby. We're hoping you'll come into the studio here in Raleigh for episode 2 with Dima. What do you say?
Yeah, why not? I would tell you that definitely I'm interested now into looking into it or watching more of your episodes that explain more about it. And definitely I might consider it. It might be something
Okay, let's
easy
go.
for me for saving for my kids' college, maybe in a way. There are,
Yeah.
we always look into these 401k plans or stuff like that. Maybe it can be a substitute. Again, like I joined in today and I know nothing, but this like pops up so many boxes in my head that I need to look into. We are all trying to make like our future life look easier. So why not?
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
This is normally the part in the show where if you're in the studio, we taste
Uh-huh.
hummus together. But you're not
Oh,
here, so you're missing out on that.
will
Ithaca
you mail
hummus. I
it?
don't know if you've heard of it. Nah, I could.
He's in Raleigh.
You know, if you're in Raleigh, you can get it at Publix, Whole Foods, Harris Teeter, Sprouts. I don't want to miss anybody, but pretty much anywhere except for the fresh market.
Bruh, fresh market.
Yeah.
What are
You
you
know
doing?
something? I've tried Itasa hummus before and I love it. Yeah, I did. And I bought it home several times.
Which flavor? Which
I think
flavor
I
stood out
went
to you?
first with the classic one when I first bought it. There was something like garlic. It has garlic in it, right? I forgot the exact
lemon
name.
garlic.
Yeah. Those were the two that we've tried again because we love hummus a lot. I usually make it at home from scratch, but you are a great resource whenever I don't want to do it.
Awesome. Well, we're going to have to make sure that we get your address and we'll send you a bunch of coupons. But now we will move on to the real offer.
But before you do, let me get a quick recap in there because I didn't get a nice, clean recap. And by the way, I am a classic Ithaca hummus man. That's my flavor. But to recap that combo with Dima, we do have Dima. She is a mom with kids. She's got her day job. She's got her social media platform where she talks about beauty and lifestyle. And that's Dima Kontar everywhere on those various platforms, DimaKontar. We talked about how you knew absolutely nothing about Bitcoin, but were experiencing the effects of money printing without necessarily knowing it. Hey, everything is getting twice as expensive. Well, guess what? They printed twice as much money. That's why. Then we talked about how Bitcoin provides an alternative to that because it is the beauty serum that cannot be diluted. And so if you just take whatever old little couple of bucks you got each month and you store it in Bitcoin, then when you come back to it later, you might find that you're better able to deal with today's economy. So having said all that, and pointed Dima to our channel for both our Sat Chats and our Sat Chats short stacks.
Mm-hmm.
We are ready to make her an offer, and we're going to see if she's ready to stack her very first Sats right here on the show.
All right, Dima. So as part of the Bitcoin community, Stuart and I believe in a core value, which is value for value. You showed up, you were generous with your time today, and we appreciate that, and our audience appreciates that. So as a small token of our appreciation and gratitude, we are going to offer you a choice between $50, which we'll have to figure out how to mail or Venmo or something. I don't know. I don't even know how to do it really, but $50 US, the things that we were talking about today that drop in value like melting ice cubes, okay? Or $50 in Bitcoin, your first $50 in Bitcoin, okay? Bitcoin right now is worth $97,750 for one Bitcoin. It's quite expensive, but not really when you think about it.
So underpriced.
Which converts to 1,022 Satoshis or sats per dollar. So I'm just going to do that conversion really quick here. And I said 1022 times 50 for $50. That's 51,100 sats or $50.
So you got $50, Dima, that will likely buy you $20 worth of stuff later, or 51,000, how much is that? 100 sats, which will likely buy you more than $50 worth of stuff later. Which one do you want?
Oh gosh, do I have to make the decision right now, or I can sit with myself and think? Because I said I wanted to learn more about Bitcoin before going into it. I wanted to watch more of your episodes. Do I have to say this right now, or I can think and
You got to
email
hit us
you?
with your gut. Yep.
You got to go
You
with
got to
your
hit
gut.
us with your gut. What are you feeling right now?
I told you, I don't know. This is hard. I'm the type of a person it takes time to do things, you know? I love to know learn more about the thing and go with it spontaneously. I don't know. I cannot give you an answer right now.
Let me ask you this. $50, right, for coming on the show. You know, you put it in your wallet, you spend it on some stuff later, all good. Or we've talked about setting aside a little bit of money each month and watching it go from $50 a month to $250,000. So let us drop the first $50 into your Bitcoin bank account for the month of February. Then watch all our stuff this month. And in March, you can decide, do I want to add 50 more bucks to that myself? Or am I happy with just those 51,000 some odd sats?
Let me tell you, I will take the $50 cash and I can drop it into my Bitcoin account after doing my research and watching more and reading more about it. I think this is the best thing.
Okay.
And then I will do some more research, and then perhaps I will drop it myself into my wallet and start the journey from there. How does this look like?
Okay.
That works.
I think we can live with that decision.
Yeah.
I like the motivation and the intention behind it. So let's do this, Dima. When you come back on in 9 months to give us an update, hopefully on your Bitcoin baby, okay? Might be a cash baby, we don't know. The satillionaires out there who are watching this video, they're going to want to know, did Dima teach herself enough about Bitcoin over the past 9 months to decide that she wants to get in on this herself? And if so,
why not?
what has she been doing? Has it been $50 a month? Has it gone up in value? How does she feel? Has it changed her, etc.? Right? We want that kind of update from you. What do you think about that?
Oh.
All right. So Chris and I are not going to high five each other because there's nothing to celebrate when somebody takes the cash. But we do like that you want to take the cash, learn about Bitcoin, and then you're the one that can be in control of what you do with that money. That brings, so Dima is number 21 Okay. And you are also joining the storied ranks and taking your place next to number 9, Paul, who is the only other guest who chose cash. So that brings our record to 19-2.
But you know what, Dima, we still consider this as so long as you follow through and you go out and you continue to educate yourself on Bitcoin, this is still just as big of a win for us.
We will take it as a victory. Yeah. This feels...
Yeah. I mentioned it in the beginning, like I'm kind of love the steadiness. Like I'm kind of person who wants to learn more, because before in life, I used to jump into stuff that I used to regret later. So I learned to learn more, to read more. And then
no, you're totally fine.
I'm sorry, guys.
And again, we are, doing this podcast so that we can chat about sats, because now you're curious, right? And you're going to take this here because you like steadily decreasing, but it's still steady. And then over time, you'll see that the sats are steady as well, but they're steadily increasing. So if you made it this far, exchange value for value according to the Bitcoin ethos. Hit us with that like and subscribe button. We are trying to get to 999 plus 1 subscribers on YouTube so that we can unlock a live show Friday mornings at 10 a.m. We'll all jump on YouTube. We'll all chat about sats as a big, glad group of satillionaires. Dima's going to be in there asking questions. She's going to be trying to figure out what to do with her $50. All your favorites are going to be in there. So help us spread that message worldwide, because everyone needs to be chatting about sats. Share with your friends, your family, and like number 20J or number 19J? Number 19J.
19J.
Just like number 19J, share with your enemies as well. Okay.
Yes.
So thanks so much for your time, Dima. Everybody hit her up on Instagram. It's Dima Kontar, DimaKontar. And remember, Sat Chats is for educational purposes only and should not be construed as financial advice. Also, our guests' views are their own. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.